Welcome to Gleaning and Gathering. This is our very first remote recording session, recorded on riverside.com. By the way, if you are looking for an amazing podcast recording system, you might want to check out Riverside. It's great. And Rebecca is here with me today.
Yes.
Actually, she's not. She's in Cincinnati.
No.
I am here in Indiana. But today we are going to talk about another amazing topic. Becca, what are we going to talk about today?
Our topic is 9 things leaders learn too late.
Too late.
Tragic.
I have learned a few lessons along the way, and one of those things that I have learned is that youth is wasted on the young.
That's so fair.
I wish, there are just a number of things that I wish that I had known when I was like 19, 20, anything except the age that I am right now. But I didn't, I didn't know those things. But I think the number one thing that this author mentions is clarity matters more than speed. And that stop rushing to look capable, just slow down, make the right call. There is something about being young. You feel like that you've got to get it done and you've got to get it done right now.
Yeah.
But the older that you get, you recognize that clarity matters more than speed. If this is a good idea, it will still be a good idea 6 months from now. And if it's not a good idea, then you're going to know that. And waiting 6 months is not going to hurt you.
It's kind of terrifying, though. 6 months is a long time. I think the principle is good there. Waiting. I don't know where I heard this, but maybe Atomic Habits. Maybe not. Maybe just your conversation. I don't know. I'm reading Atomic Habits right now, so there are a lot of things that coming from that. But I heard something the other day. A good habit to form is just wait 24 hours. If you're trying to make a decision or whatever, like 6 months is a good thing also, but 24 hours really is not going to hurt anything. Like 6 months is going to change. Lots of things are going to change in that amount of time. 24 hours, not really anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slow down and making the right call is almost always the right decision. There was a situation that I had a few years back that if I had just waited an extra week, it would have saved me so much pain and discomfort, a situation that is still actually ongoing in my life. And if I had just waited, it would have been so much better. Unfortunately, I didn't. And so I'm still paying the price for that decision.
To be fair, though, we saw an example of waiting being a slightly bad thing yesterday with Silver. I think at least you said you were kicking yourself because you didn't sell out. That kind of made me laugh.
Okay, on to the next point. Yes.
I'm just saying waiting is not always, like, sometimes you just got to do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, it's true. Yeah, I saw some warning signs happening, and the biggest crash that Silver has seen ever happened yesterday.
Just tragic.
By the way, it wiped out like $1.6 trillion of market cap in 24 hours, just in silver. So it wasn't just me. But
that is insane.
If I would have sold out on Thursday, I would have been in the good.
Rejoicing right now. Yeah.
That's right. I could have watched the chaos unfold on Friday. But unfortunately, I didn't, and I paid the price for waiting, I guess. So, I guess that is an example of where waiting is not a good thing. Point number 2 is that calm is something you practice. Do you agree with this?
Interesting.
That it's not natural, that it's learned in moments that test your patience the most. Do you agree with that?
I think partially, yes. I think some of it has to do with your personality. Well, I guess it depends on your definition of calm. If you're more prone to just like blow up and then kind of fizzle out, or I don't know. Like when the big things happen, what are you prone to do? Trying to practice calm. That's fair. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
Well, I think the challenge for most leaders is that you don't feel calm, but learning to act in a way that's calm and to just, as was the famous saying during World War II, keep calm and carry on, even when the bombs are dropping around you.
Yeah.
There is a mind over matter.
Yeah.
Kind
that's true.
of practice that you can develop.
Yeah.
That you can be someone who is not just giving in to those feelings of panic, but actually being careful to just take time, think it through.
Yeah.
And that's an incredibly valuable skill to have as a leader.
Yeah. And the whole waiting idea comes into that. If your tendency is to freak out and just do something or just take care of the situation or whatever, react, part of being calm is just, okay, let's take a few minutes, hours, whatever, and just sit quietly or whatever. Like calm your brain, calm your feelings, all the things.
Exactly. Number 3, people remember how you made them feel.
Yeah,
your presence shapes the room more than your advice ever will. There are some leaders that for me just embody this. Like their very presence is just filled with weight.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm thinking of specific people and vibes. Like,
who are you thinking of?
Well, I'm thinking of some good and bad. The good ones, the first one that came to mind was David Spivey. He comes in the room and there's just like this calm, like joyful presence. He's just like a chill person that you want to talk to and, calms everything down and makes everything happy. But then there are some others that come in and they're really intense and they're like, got to get things done. And you kind of like sit up straighter and make sure you're not saying anything wrong or doing anything wrong, whatever. Yeah, that's super interesting. And that the second one can be a good thing too. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I want to be the kind of person like a David Spivey that is making people feel at ease and welcomed and seen and heard, and that that it's not all about them. Like, I think that's one of the things that people that have that sense, they don't impress you with their importance. They don't
this
come
is what
across.
I did last week. No.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're going to ask you what you did or how you're doing or whatever.
They're constantly turning that conversation back toward you.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. And as a person feeling that. So anyway, people remember how you made them feel.
That's interesting.
4, you won't always be understood, and that can sting. But understanding comes later, long after the results speak. There's been some situations in my life where I frankly have been misunderstood. And I wanted so badly to be able to defend myself, to say, to explain. I can think of several situations. But I've just tried to keep on living and not try to push this. And I've had some of those leaders that were in those situations come back to me later and say, I've watched your life and I was wrong about you. And at the moment, it was incredibly difficult to just walk that out. But I think as a leader, because you're dealing with situations that you can't always communicate all the details of, you're going to be misunderstood. It's not a matter of if you will. It's just how often and who.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I deal with that some on a very small scale, but with my job, like there's a ton that I can't tell anybody, especially students. And things happen and people know that I was involved and they ask questions and I'm like, we have reasons and they're good ones, but I like...
You can't talk about it.
You can't defend yourself and Yeah.
Well, and I think that's one of those things that leaders many times understand too late. They have that tendency, or they can, to want to please people. And so they get into power, or they get into a place of responsibility, and they think, I've got to make sure I explain everything to everybody. And you just can't. You're going to be misunderstood. And it's just part of It's part of leadership.
Yeah. I think with that too, though, accountability is super important.
Absolutely.
Because so I'm very blessed because I've got like a huge team and I am the only one in HR, but I've got all the administrators that are collaborating with me on things. So it's not just me. I think a danger for leaders sometimes is it's just them and they don't feel like if they get trapped in the whatever of, well, I don't have to explain myself, then it can become this like, he's the only one making the decisions and it can become like an ego thing or anyway, that can get dangerous really fast. So make sure you have somebody that you're accountable to.
Absolutely.
But also,
one of the quotes, I think it was Carrie Nyhoff that said this, but when leaders quit answering questions, they start doing questionable things.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge connection between that kind of transparency and accountability.
Yeah.
That's not just anecdotal, but is systemic.
Right. Yeah.
And that leaders are making themselves consistently accountable.
Yeah.
And that people knows. One of my friends and mentors said to me, what would you think about this if it were on the front page of the New York Times or the Indianapolis Star? Would you be okay with everybody knowing the details as they are? And I think that, having that that kind of accountability in your life also can help people when you are feeling misunderstood to be able to say, okay, well, at least there's a good board behind him. Yeah. We know that there is accountability in place.
We know that there's a good team. Yeah. Yeah.
Number 5, respect grows from consistency, not charisma, not charm, just showing up the same way on the days that feel heavy. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think it takes time and pain. I do think it's super interesting talking about the youth being wasted on the young. That's so relevant with the charisma and the charm. Like many times.
Those are the ones that get picked.
Yeah. Like at our age, that is the thing that, this guy's going to go places or this girl's going to go places. Maybe there are some people with really high charisma and great charm that will go places for sure. But also,
yeah. There's
they
plenty that flame out.
Right.
And I think that respect grows when you just continue to show up.
To do the things. Yeah.
Day after day, year after year, people begin to recognize, okay, this isn't just a flash in the pan.
Right.
And I think that, many times leaders want to be able to make it to the top quickly and aren't willing to put in the reps that it's going to take to be able to build that respect.
Yeah.
Number 6, pressure reveals your habits, good or bad.
That's true.
You can't hide the work you did on yourself. I've seen this in my own life. I mean, there's been systems and periods where I didn't have those systems, and I can see the difference. And that pressure that is inevitable in life. The storms will come, the difficulties, the challenges, and that's the place where it reveals what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. What do you fall back on?
Yeah. I think it's James Clear that says we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And so if we don't have good systems, we don't have good habits in place, that's where things break down.
Yeah. I think I've been realizing over the last few days, I've been reading Atomic Habits and how much identity is connected to your habits. That is, I think I'd heard the idea probably from you or Kaylin, but he just explains it so well in the book. You can fake a lot, but under pressure, like high stress situations or whatever, what you really think about yourself and the world around you, that's going to come out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that has a lot more to do with your habits than I think we realize. Am I the type of person that can handle this, and continue doing the things that are good for me and the company and whatever you're dealing with? Yeah, or am I going to break under pressure?
Yep.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Well, number 7 is connected to it. Your character shows in private moments, especially in how you treat people who have nothing to offer you.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. A lot of times I've watched, leaders that have made it all about them.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people watching those private moments.
Yeah.
Even when you don't know that they're watching. And how you treat the little child or the waiter or the waitress or your spouse or whatever, like that's indicative of who you are and who you're becoming.
Well, I think of the auto shop that you guys stopped out on the way to Cincinnati. Like, I think you posted a little blurb on Facebook or whatever.
So a little background on that. We were on the way to Cincinnati. We had a flat tire in Pendleton, Indiana, and we Googled, closest tire shop and found this little family-owned tire shop that was, a mile and a half away from where we were. And so we pulled in there and they got us right in, no appointment, but they got us right in. They got our tire patched and we were back on the road in like 20 minutes, literally.
It's amazing.
And they charged us only $20 and it was like, they were amazing. Their hospitality was amazing. Mm-hmm. And so, I put a little shout out to the Falls Park Tire and Auto Center there and thank them for what they did. So that's the background story.
Yeah, I think that's a good example of like it was the day after the big storm or a couple days after, I guess it was Tuesday. Miserable conditions. They really didn't have to be open or there, but they were. And they didn't know you guys at all. So they didn't necessarily have to get you in or do a super great job. But the way they treated you guys showed this is who they are as a company.
Yes.
This is how they treat everybody. Like you weren't anybody important coming in, so they didn't have to show you any respect or whatever, but they did. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, and that's the kind of thing that I think, leaders need to cultivate, not just for the sake of making sure that people know that they're the kind of leader who really cares about the little people.
Right. But are they the kind of leader that will they actually care about the little people? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing that shows character.
Yeah.
Number 8, silence teaches more than reactions. Not every misunderstanding actually requires you to say something about it or needs your energy. And sometimes restraint is the real answer. I don't know how many times, Becca, I've seen something on Facebook and I just want to blast in there and say something. And then I'll think, wait a minute, do I really need to say this? And 9 times, I'd say 99 times out of 100, I'll say, no, I don't need to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think silence teaches more than reactions. Like it's easy to react, especially today.
Yeah.
And I remember times I haven't. Like I was so angry and so upset at a situation that happened outside of the U.S. State Department in Chicago, and I got in there early in the morning and, doors locked, nobody would be allowed in the building. And I just fired off on Facebook in a video and it was idiotic. It was stupid. And I look back but there were all kinds of people, that were like, wow, Eric's being a real jerk about this.
Yeah.
And they were right. They were absolutely right.
Yeah.
The right thing for me to say in that situation was nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, the points that you were making were valid.
Yeah, but I didn't need to say them.
Right. I think a lot of times we think, is this true? If it's true, then I should say it. Not always. Is it going to be helpful? Is it actually going to change anything? Is it going to fix a problem? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 9. Go ahead.
Quickly before you move on, I laughed at the beginning because I thought of Kaylin and her students. I think silence shows power. Anyway, there have been times where Kaylin has talked about, like, her children will say things to her trying to get her riled up or whatever, and she just says nothing. I think in the world that can be huge. If you have the self-control to say nothing, then that will go a lot further than you just, like, running your mouth about everything.
Exactly. Number 9, the last one is strength grows when you stop proving yourself. You know, I recognized that there was a time where I felt like that I needed to show up in a way that that I've got something that you need to hear. But shifting from trying to look like a leader to actually becoming the kind of person that people trust and don't need to be convinced to follow, like, that's leadership.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of leaders, you know, like, they'll wear the name badge. They'll go around making sure that everybody knows that they are
exactly who they are and what they do.
President, director, grand poobah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they're not a leader.
Yep.
They may be in charge because somebody gave them a title, but leadership is influence. And your strength as a leader grows when you actually stop trying to prove yourself. And I wish I would have known that at an earlier age, that just trying to prove that you are a leader doesn't make you a leader.
Yeah, fair.
Well, that's our list. And if you are trying to develop as a young leader, which I know many of you that are listening to this podcast are, I encourage you to think about these 9 things that leaders learn often too late. And learn them now so that you don't have to learn them when you're 47, like me. It's important to continue to grow and develop. And so I hope that maybe this is giving you some food for thought, something to chew on.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for trying out this system.
Yeah.
And I look forward to trying to record a few more episodes like this and see if we can continue to get better at it. So
for sure.
For Gleaning and Gathering, God bless.